8 sinister paranormal encounters caught on camera that will haunt your dreams forever. Rachel's heart raced as she stared at the screen, each flicker of the security footage sending icy fingers down her spine. 8 years of normality shattered in an instant. Shadows danced across her living room, lurking where they shouldn't be. She remembered how, only days ago, the whispers started, barely audible, like a child's taunt drifting through the air. But there was nothing innocent about these sounds. The first time she heard it, she shrugged it off, blaming it on stress from sleepless nights and being a stay-at-home mom. Yet now, panic bubbled within, filling her with dread. The drop-offs at the elementary school, the endless laundry, the daily routine, they had become her comforting clockwork. Yet now, they felt like an elaborate facade hiding an unseen monster. Her husband, Kyle, worked late shifts at the power plant, while she inhabited a house that began feeling like a cage. But home should be safe, right? Just a quaint suburb of Maplewood, filled with smiling faces and fresh-baked cookies at every door. But not anymore. The whispers grew louder each day. Rachel couldn't shake the eerie feeling as she reviewed the footage. A shadowy figure, vague yet ominous, creeping closer to her children's toys in the living room. It moved like smoke, uncatchable and insubstantial, but fear clawed at her every nerve. Her heart thudded as she imagined it inching toward their innocence. They were unaware, oblivious to the danger lurking just beyond the light. Her days of solace turned into frantic investigations. Maplewood, such a picturesque name. Yet searching revealed the glimmers of dark truths. Unresolved disappearances haunted the town's history, all connected to one man. He bought the uniforms for local Little League teams. Everyone adored him. But Rachel learned he had a past marred with unspeakable secrets. The community's golden boy, or a wolf in sheep's clothing? As days blurred into each other, incongruent manifestations greeted her. Chilling cold spots brushed against her neck. Toys flung into bizarre, monstrous formations. Laughter that seemed to pull her deeper into despair echoed through the empty halls. Tension brewed with Kyle, who looked skeptical during her frantic confessions, his laughter ringing hollow. But when he finally watched the footage, his face blanched, a sign of disbelief morphing into shared paranoia. He withdrew, consumed by a fear that fractures a once happy family. Then came the worst day. Her son, Timmy, midday at home, talking to nothing. Laughing innocently, eyes lit up as if someone stood there. Rachel's heart sank. Was her little boy being groomed into something sinister? The neighborhood she once adored morphed into a nightmare, friendly faces warped into unsettling shadows. The PTA meetings turned into chilling echo chambers filled with whispers she couldn't decipher. Desperate, she reached Mrs. Hawkins, the aged historian. With wild eyes, the woman muttered of the town's cursed foundations, warning her of unseen forces. "You're not safe. They'll turn you against each other."
She hissed, sending a shiver through Rachel's core. Who was she to trust? With Kyle spiraling and her children enchanted by whatever malevolence lurked, she felt lost. As night relentlessly approached, the manifestations morphed into daily terror. Crayon scrawls appeared on walls, taunting messages revealing that the figure knew her routines, their weaknesses. Then, one ghastly night, chaos erupted, plunging the house into darkness as her heart raced. They had cornered her family, consuming their safety. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Fumbling in the darkness, they stumbled toward the children's room. A voice echoed, a raspy, warped sound swirling through the air. They belong to us now. The camera blipped back on, capturing the malevolent stare of the shadow just behind them. Every breath stilled around Rachel. Was her family lost to forces beyond her comprehension? In that moment, she knew something dreadful was waiting to unwrap the layers of their very lives. Would she be able to save them before it was too late? The darkness enveloped Rachel like a suffocating shroud. The hum of the electrical appliances in the house faded away, replaced by the oppressive silence, heavy and menacing. Only the wild, frantic sound of her heartbeat filled her ears as she led her children back, the little ones clinging to her legs. What was left of her composure crumbled at the sight of Timmy's face. His eyes sparkled with unnatural glee, as though whatever was with him had entwined its essence with his innocence. "Mommy, look!" he squeaked, pointing at the corner of the room. "She wants to play." Play? A shiver raced down Rachel's spine. "No, Timmy, we need to go, now," she said, voice trembling. She pulled them close, intention turning into a hiss as fear festered within her. Panic clawed at her gut. She had to think. They had to escape. Down the darkened hallway, shadows flickered, shapeless and threatening. She could feel them more than see them, thickening the air like a heavy curtain. Another laugh resonated, sharp and childlike, echoing in the stillness, awakening something primal within her. It wasn't Timmy. It couldn't be. Her breath quickened as she approached the kitchen, where the overwhelming sense of dread kicked into overdrive. "Stay behind me," she whispered to the kids, positioning them protectively. Suddenly, the dishes on the counter rattled violently. A fine white dust puffed into the air, revealing the remnants of a long-neglected plate, which had recently scraped off a thick layer of age. An icy chill ran through the room, snatching the warmth of her breath, making her shiver uncontrollably. She rushed to the door, jiggling the handle frantically, but it wouldn't budge. "Mommy, what's wrong?" her daughter Emma whimpered, eyes wide with fear. "Just hold on to me, babies." Rachel squeezed them tightly, the entrance to their sanctuary now a prison cell. The walls seemed to close in, whispering their secrets in hushed tones, palpable echoes gnawing at her reason. The room grew darker. The shadows elongated grotesquely, undulating closer. Rachel felt it, a presence looming just behind her, pulsating with dark energy. The raspy voice returned, swirling like smoke, slithering into her mind. "You can't escape, Rachel. You invited us in." Echoes of Mrs. Hawkins' warning flashed in her head, weaving through her panic like a terrible lullaby. "They'll turn you against each other." "Mommy, Timmy is playing with her," Emma cried, pointing. Rachel turned, only to see Timmy laughing wildly, spinning around, entranced by the shadows that wrapped around him. Their little boy was in a trance, easily swayed by whatever force had emerged. "No!" she screamed, reaching for him. But the shadows twisted and reached back, wrapping him tight between their icy tendrils. In a desperate surge of adrenaline, Rachel lunged forward, feeling the energy sputter all around her. "Timmy, come back!" she shouted, voice breaking, watching as their son's laughter echoed outward, mocking her vulnerability. But it happened in a heartbeat. She felt a rush of chilling certainty. It was feeding off their fear. Dread wedged into her veins, felt in every tremor, resonating through the house like a looming thunderstorm of malice. The lights flickered back on. Reality froze in its tracks, revealing just how far things had shifted. Timmy stood still, puppet-like, eyes darkened. The room was transformed. Dolls and toys stared blankly, their painted eyes now glimmering with malice, witnessing the horror that unfolded. As Rachel staggered back, choking on desperation, a mirror hung crookedly on the wall caught her attention. Reflected within its glass, Rachel glimpsed a truth that sent her heart racing. A dark figure stood behind her, an arm stretched out. The air crackled with tension, as though time had momentarily stilled. And then the unthinkable happened. The figure grinned back at her, its mouth opening wide, revealing rows of teeth, shining and sharp, whispering, "Join us forever." Rachel's scream shattered the stillness, a primal sound of terror that could not be muffled. But as the shadows closed in, her vision blurred. Had she already lost them? She staggered back, fighting to breathe, but the figure loomed larger, darkness wrapping around her mind. Was it taking her too? What did it want? And could anyone escape the nightmare that gripped Maplewood before it claimed them all? The darkness seemed alive, breathing in sync with Rachel's panic. Shadows slithered closer, mimicking her every fear, folding around her like a grotesque embrace. She was gripped by an instinctive urgency. With trembling hands, she reached for the door again. This time, her touch more desperate. The handle refused to budge, like the cruel grip of an unseen predator. "Mommy!" Emma's whimper pulled her back momentarily. She faced her daughter, forcing a smile that felt as brittle as glass. "We'll be okay, honey. We just need to—" A deafening crash shattered the moment. It came from the living room, sending her heart racing to match the erratic rhythm clattering in her chest. "Stay close," Rachel hissed, her voice barely above a whisper, as she edged forward. The harmony of muffled laughter split the air like a sharp blade. Timmy remained still, lost in the rhythm of that sinister dance. The shadows pulsed rhythmically, drawing her son deeper into their sinister web. "Timmy," she cried, a plea that cut through the darkness. "You need to come back, please." As she crossed the threshold into the living room, the room's atmosphere shifted. The air thickened, almost palpable, weighing heavily on her lungs. The flickering lights cast ominous pools of light and shadow, warping the furniture into monstrous shapes that watched with soulless eyes. Suddenly, something moved, a small, abrupt slide by the staircase. Rachel's heart skipped. Was it her imagination, or was there something lurking in the corner? A figure, indistinct but threatening, lay still just beyond her vision. Panic struck. What if it wasn't her imagination? "Mommy, I want to play." Timmy's voice broke through, high and clear, laced with a delight that sent chills down her spine. He spun again, in tandem with the shadows, his laughter now a haunting melody that twisted her insides. "Timmy, stop!" She lunged, reaching blindly into the dark, desperate to grasp her son once more. Each step brought a surge of dread. The shadows morphed into tendrils, slick and cold against her skin. Then the laughter came again, closer and more urgent. "Play with us, Mommy!" Drawn like a moth to flame, the darkness beckoned her. With each heartbeat, it became harder to resist. Was it temptation or despair? Something caught her eye. An old photograph, framed and dust-covered, hung just above the fireplace. It depicted a family, too familiar, evoking memories she thought long buried. She'd seen this picture before, yet tonight it felt sinister. The faces gazed at her with hollow expressions, their eyes shifting, glinting with a knowing that chilled her bones. "Mommy!" Timmy shouted, now closer. And she turned again. His head tilted unnaturally. hair swaying like smoke, eyes vacant. "Don't you want to have fun? It's much better this way." Rage and sorrow surged within her. "No, I won't let you take him." The weight of her defiance pushed through the darkness, igniting something within her. She stepped back, ready to fight against the inflation of terror consuming her. A flicker of light pulsated near the fireplace, then froze her breath in her throat. There, a shadowed hand reached out from the wall, wrapping around the frame of the photograph, twisting. A figure emerged, half-formed, endless darkness swirling in an almost tangible shape.
"No!" Rachel screamed, but the shadows intertwined with her voice, stealing it away. Suddenly, an image surged into her mind. The pale woman from the old neighborhood, her warnings echoing like wisps of smoke. "You can't take them from it. It's inside you now." The dark figure grinned wider, teeth glimmering, and Rachel felt her heart plummet. The laughter crescendoed, mixing with her rising panic. Was this the end? As the world around her spun and the laughter reached a fever pitch, she realized with dawning horror that escape was slipping from her grasp. The shadows twisted into something more solid, hungry for her fear. "Timmy! Emma!" she cried, searching for a way, any way, to pull her kids from this nightmare before it swallowed them whole. But then the truth struck like a lightning bolt, illuminating the dark spaces. What if their only hope lay in embracing the darkness? Could she, Rachel, truly expose the monstrous truth that waited beneath, or would it consume them all? What price would she pay for salvation? The figure grew more corporeal, stretching out, an abomination of shadows and malice. Rachel staggered back, the photograph falling from her fingers, shattering on the floor, its glass reflecting sorrow and despair. The dark form lurched toward her, laughter echoing through the air, mingling with her racing thoughts. "Timmy! Emma!" The names clawed at her throat, desperate and raw. Fear flooded her mind, battling with a strange compulsion to pull her children closer to the inviting darkness. Could the monsters truly be her salvation? She turned, her eyes darting around the room, feverishly searching for any sign of her children. Her breath quickened as she spotted Emma huddled in the corner, unaware of the danger closing in on them. "Emma!" Rachel shouted, tearing through the thickening air toward her daughter. A flicker of remorse momentarily grounded her heart. Emma's innocent eyes met hers, filled with confusion and unshakable terror. The laughter intensified, turning into derisive whispers that crept under her skin. "Mommy, play with us." The shadows coiled tighter around Timmy, his small body almost lost within their depths. "No! No!" Rachel yelled, her voice shaking, pounding against her skull. She lunged for Timmy, but the shadows swarmed, blurring his figure, transforming him into a faceless silhouette. "Stop this!" Rage pulsed in her veins as she felt the darkness pressing against her, every instinct screaming to fight back. "Timmy!" She was at the brink, every step toward her child a battle against the darkness that beckoned her. A whisper, soft yet sinister, cut through the cacophony. "Join us, Rachel. We can help you forget." Forget? The thought sent a shudder through her, twisting memories of laughter and warmth into cold steel chains. Why would I want to forget? "For your children," the voice coaxed, patient and silken. "Forget the pain, the fear. Embrace tranquility." She could feel her resolve weakening. It would be so easy to let go, to surrender herself to this overwhelming presence. "No!" she hissed, shaking her head violently. The shadows laughed, swirling menacingly. "Can you not feel it? The ache deep inside? We can heal you."
Rachel looked back at Emma, her heart breaking as she saw her daughter's small frame gripped by the pull of darkness. Timmy's laughter echoed, a chilling whisper climbing the walls. She had to act before it was too late. "Emma, grab my hand!" She concentrated, each word an anchor. Rachel stretched her fingers, willing Emma to break loose from the darkness's hold. The girl hesitated, her expression filled with innocence and uncertainty. "But Mommy, it's so fun here." "No, Emma, listen to me. It's a trap." In that horrifying moment, Rachel realized the shadows were not just seeking Timmy, they were coming for Emma too. The figure beside her transformed again, revealing glimmers of movement that mimicked her children, dark and twisted. They wanted her will broken. "Timmy, you have to fight! You're stronger than this!" she shouted, willing every ounce of love into her voice, desperate to reach him. The shadows reacted violently, pulling tighter, spinning around her like a cyclone of despair. "You cannot save them. They belong to us now." Rachel felt the cold truth sink into her bones. Only by embracing the darkness could she hope to save her children. What would it take? What would she have to sacrifice? In that moment of chaos, the flickering light of the fireplace caught her eye once more. It pulsed with an inner glow, stark against the oppressive shadows. Could she confront her own demons? Could she, Rachel, wield the very darkness that threatened to consume her? The laughter shifted to a low growl, confusion mingling with her desperation. As the darkness circled tighter, she had a choice to make. To confront her fears, to fight against the very thing that sought to swallow her whole, or to embrace it and hope against hope that it would lead her children back to her. She took a deep breath. Time was running out. As shadows whispered in her ears, she knew one thing. She would step into the abyss for her children, battling the very darkness that was both alluring and repulsive. "Hold on, kids, I'm coming for you." Suddenly, the ground trembled, and the entity lunged, reaching for her. The darkness roared, echoing her fear as she dove deep into the heart of the shadows. But the true horror awaited her within. What would she find in the depths of her own nightmares? The shadows enveloped Rachel as she plunged deeper into the swirling mass. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat a desperate call for her children. The darkness around her thickened, an oppressive weight that made it hard to breathe. She felt like she was drowning, unable to surface, unable to find the light. "Where are you?" she gasped, voice strangled. Only sinister laughter responded. The air was alive with whispers, like 1,000 voices converging on her mind. Images flickered in her thoughts, smiles of her children. Shadows of their laughter, replaced by the mocking echoes of the entity surrounding her. "Join us, Rachel," the voice beckoned, silky and smooth, slipping into her conscience. "They are lost without you. Come and play." Her resolve hardened. No, she would not succumb. With every ounce of strength, she pushed against the walls of swirling darkness. "I will not give in." But the shadows seethed and twisted, wrapping tighter, their coldness threatening to extinguish her flame. "Mommy, help!" Timmy's voice cut through the din, panic-stricken and real. It fired her resolve, tearing through her fear like a lightning bolt. "I'm coming," she cried, reaching out in the void for her son's hand. Visions flickered in and out. Their home, the backyard where they used to play, the warmth of summer sunshine. Rachel's memories flickered like a candle about to die. Just then, a flicker of light bled into her thoughts, illuminating a path within the encroaching darkness. "Fight it, Rachel," she encouraged herself, her voice gaining strength. The thought of her children buoyed her, kept her from drowning. Maybe this was her chance, a way to turn the darkness into a weapon. As shadows coiled around her limbs, she envisioned the light's warmth blazing within her. "I will not lose you," she screamed, feeling the power of her love surge through her, turning her fear into fury. The darkness hissed, recoiling from her fierce determination. "You think you can resist?" it lashed back, the rage palpable. "You are nothing without us. Your children are part of the shadows now." "No!" A desperate scream erupted from her lips, the very essence of her soul pouring out, fueling the light inside of her. She thrust her hands forward, willing the brightness to expand. The room flared, pushing the shadows back. A blinding fire ignited where the darkness had tightened its grip, illuminating everything with a fiery glow. Timmy and Emma's faces appeared, ghostly outlines flickering between realities, caught in the chaos. "Mommy!" Their voices echoed, torn between the dark and the light. "My babies!" Rachel shouted, feelings of love swelling, crystallizing her resolve. The shadows shrieked, howling like banshees, trying to regain their grip as she fought for her children. But then flickers of doubt crept in. Was this strength enough? What if she couldn't pull them from the darkness she had unwittingly entered? The shadows retaliated, thrumming with energy, threatening to engulf her once more. Against the way of darkness, a sacrifice must be made, the entity rasped, its tone now eerily calm. What will you give to save them? Rachel hesitated, heart racing, the lingering temptation of freedom from her pain tugging at her. Yet memories resumed their course through her mind. Bedtime stories, soft whispers, warm hugs. "Anything!" Rachel screamed, the words clawing at her throat, acid burning her insides. Would she lose herself to save them? Would she become the very darkness she fought against to keep her children safe? The response came not with words, but overwhelming force. She felt her body begin to fracture, the very essence of who she was writhing between realities. Out of desperation, a single thought blazed through her mind. "For them, I will lead the way." With everything she had, she thrust herself forward once more, ready to bring her children back, even if it meant facing the darkest parts of herself. But when she reached for them, a terrible realization made her gasp. The shadows weren't pulling away. They were merging. "Together forever," the darkness cooed, as the laughter crescendoed into a deafening scream. What had she truly awakened? What was waiting for her on the other side of this darkness? The ground shook violently with the clash of light and shadow, and Rachel could feel herself losing ground. In that moment of chilling dread, she knew the worst was yet to come. The light flickered, dimming like a dying star. Rachel's heart raced as she fought against the tide of darkness wrapping around her. She could feel it creeping into her bones, chilling her soul. "No, I won't go like this." Her voice rose above the cacophony, but it felt weak, a whisper in a storm. The shadows pulsed, alive with a sinister energy that wrapped around her like a serpent. They slithered through her mind, igniting fears she had buried long ago. Her failures as a mother, the loss of her husband, the emptiness that had settled into her heart. "They're waiting for you," the voice taunted, a hiss that curled around her thoughts like smoke. Why not join them? "Shut up!" she screamed, but doubt coiled tighter around her spirit. Images materialized, fractured and disjointed. Her children playing, laughing in a sunlit park. She wanted to reach out, to bask in that moment again, but the shadows dragged her back into the abyss. "Mommy, where are you?" Timmy's voice echoed again, distant, fading. "Stay with me!" Rachel shouted, panic clawing at her throat. She felt the light within her flicker dangerously low. Was this truly a fight she could win? Another wave of whispers crashed over her, drowning out her thoughts. Sacrifice, sacrifice. The shadows slithered closer, wrapping tighter, promising comfort and darkness if she would just surrender, if she would join them. Tears streamed down her face as she struggled against the overwhelming urge to let go. Wasn't that what she had wanted at times? To escape this pain? "Remember," the voice purred, wrapping its cold fingers around her heart. "Your children would be safe forever." "No!" She drew on every fragment of strength she had left. With a primal scream, she pushed against the smothering dark, not with the pretense of fighting, but with a gut-wrenching desperation. A surge of light sputtered back to life within, casting the shadows momentarily aside. For a moment, she was invincible. The darkness shrank back, howling in frustration, as light flooded around her, illuminating the twisted forms writhing in the void. But in that precious moment of clarity, Rachel saw what lay beyond. Grotesque silhouettes of children twisted, faces frozen in silent screams. "Timmy! Emma!" The realization struck like a thunderbolt. They were everywhere, trapped between worlds. "I'll save you! Just hold on!" With every ounce of will, she reached for them, her hands stretching into the void, fingers aching with effort. She could feel the warmth of their presence, the pulse of their love anchoring her, even as the shadows lunged back, frantically trying to sever the bond she was forging. "Almost there," she murmured, desperation tightening her chest. But then she felt it, a cold claw tightening around her heart. Panic gripped her, and she twisted to pull back, but the darkness surged forward, swallowing her scream. "Join us! Join them!" A stinging pain shot through her, as if shards of ice pierced her very being. She gasped, feeling pieces of herself splintering off. The shadows screamed in delight, reveling in the despair that seeped from her very essence. "Give in. Give your essence freely," the voice sang, lulling her with promises of relief and reunion. And as she felt herself slipping, an icy dread prickled her skin. What if she did? Would she become a shadow herself, or could she save them somehow? A flicker of recognition flashed in her mind while she fought to hold on to what remained of her sanity. There had to be a way to pull them out, to shatter this illusion of safety that the darkness offered. "Together forever," the darkness cooed again, but this time it sent a jolt of fury through Rachel. Her breath came in gasps. She refused to be just another lost soul snared in this web. But even as she screamed, she felt her essence detach, the shadows reveling in their victory as they consumed another piece of her. The light flickered weakly, struggling to hold firm against the advancing tide. Moments stretched into an eternity as she spiraled deeper, and the thought suddenly crystallized. If she couldn't fully surrender, she would have to make a choice. What was she willing to sacrifice? What would she have to endure to claw her children back to the surface? Rachel screamed into the void one last time. "I will fight! I will not let you take them!" And in that instant, the shadows recoiled. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. As the darkness trembled around her, it whispered promises of eternity. Above the eternal void, she felt a presence emerge, a flicker of recognition. Was it hope, or was it yet another layer of the trap? The darkness roared, sensing her resurgence, and with an echoing crash, she felt something shift. What shape would the battle take next? The world twisted around Rachel like a funhouse mirror, distorting her sense of place and time. She was still fighting, still screaming, as the shadows lurked, hungry and vengeful. But this time, she felt an odd surge of clarity. It was like stepping back from a fire to see the full inferno. Her children were trapped, and darkness was their warden. "Rachel, help us!" The voices grew louder, desperate, pulling her closer. Every whisper was a shard of glass, piercing into her resolve. The shadows stretched and swirled, weaving their tendrils to claw at her sanity. She stumbled backward, heart racing, eyes darting around. The flickering light within her felt fragile, and for every moment she held on, the shadows loomed closer, pressing against her skin like cold, clammy hands. "Do you really think you're stronger than us? You believe you can save them?" The voice laughed cruelly, each word dripping with malice. She gritted her teeth, squeezing her eyes shut for a moment, recalling the laughter of her children, vibrant and full of life. They were in there somewhere. "I have to find them," she whispered, feeling the renewed pulse of determination coursing through her veins. She pushed forward into the darkness, hands outstretched, searching blindly. Each movement felt like wading through molasses. She had to do this, had to break through the barrier that stood between her and her kids. As her fingers brushed against something warm, her heart raced. "Mommy!" It was Timmy's voice again, so close, yet obscured. With renewed purpose, she pulled her arm back, preparing for the leap into the unknown, adrenaline pumping. "Hold on!" she cried, pinning her hopes on the echo of their laughter that rang in her ears. But the shadows shifted violently, swirling around her in frenzied anger. "Foolish woman, you cannot rescue what has already been claimed." Darkness surged around her, fierce like a storm, pushing her away from her children. She felt their warmth slipping through her fingers. Panic clawed deep within. "No, I won't lose you!" Desperation exploded, and with a feral scream, she lashed out into the void. In that moment of chaos, shards of light erupted from her, bursting forth like shooting stars, scattering the shadows, if only for a heartbeat. She caught a glimpse of their silhouettes, shadows of joy even in their despair. "Mommy!" They reached for her, and with every ounce of strength, she pushed through the encroaching night, emotions igniting a flame of courage. "I'm coming!" But just as she lunged forward, a dark figure emerged, an embodiment of the darkness itself, towering and fierce, blocking her path. It roared, an ear-splitting sound that felt like ice through her veins. "You will not go any further," it jeered, its voice a cacophony of terror, wrapping tighter around her throat like a noose. "You think love is stronger than despair." And in that moment, doubt crept in. Was she just a moth drawn to the flame, certain to be burned in her pursuit? What price would she have to pay to break through that wall of shadows? As the darkness blurred her vision, she made a split-second decision. "I would sacrifice anything for them," she shouted defiantly, even as the shadows wrapped tighter around her. "Nothing is stronger than a mother's love." A rumble filled the air, the shadows vibrating with rage and fear, and then, all at once, they surged forward. Rachel gasped, feeling an overwhelming weight pulling her back from where she needed to be. "Timmy! Emma!" she screamed as the pressure mounted, threatening to crush her very essence. The darkness roared once more, quaking, and Rachel felt the barriers tremble. Her heart raced, and the choice hung heavy in the air like a pendulum. What if the only way to save them was to let go, to become one with the darkness? The thought sent chills down her spine. As the shadows tightened, she closed her eyes, bracing for impact. Something hot surged within her, defiance, love, fury. But just as the dark figure lunged for her, a shimmering light erupted, blocking the shadows from closing in altogether. Together, we can do this! A figure emerged beside her, ethereal and glowing with hope. Was it a mere illusion, or had she summoned the strength of her children? The battle had changed. Now it was not just Rachel against the darkness. She had allies, perhaps even power beyond mere imagination. But could the strength of their united will be enough to break through? The struggle was far from over. Would this light guide them to freedom, or would it herald a new nightmare waiting in the shadows? The shimmering figure flickered beside Rachel like a candle in the wind, but its glow was unyielding. This light felt familiar, awakening something deep within her. She reached out instinctively, her fingers brushing against the warmth of its energy. "Is it you?" she gasped, hope mingling with desperation. "Mommy, keep fighting!" The voice was sweet, tinged with a child's urgency. It was Emma, or was it Timmy? Whoever it was, it poured strength into Rachel like warm honey. She could feel the light swirling with intentions all around her, countering the cold, gnawing darkness. But the dark figure howled again, rattling the very fabric of their world. "Uniting against me? Pathetic! You think a flicker of light can extinguish an abyss?" The shadows tightened their grip, constricting like a serpent preparing to strike. Rachel shuddered, the vile whispers returning to taunt her, each syllable a dagger. "You're nothing without your children. Love can't save them. You will join them in despair." Her heart raced as the shadows threatened to swallow the flickering light. In that moment, doubt surged again like a wave crashing down. Was this illusion powerful enough to save them? Or was she setting them up for total annihilation? "Stay close," Rachel shouted, pushing forward toward the light. The warmth surged stronger, pulsating, almost communicating with her in a language of connection and safety. Suddenly, she felt arms wrapping around her waist, small but fierce. Timmy's arms tightened around her. "We're right here, Mommy. We're not going anywhere." "Emma, I need you." Rachel felt on the brink of a breaking point, a thread ready to snap. She couldn't lose them again. With a primal roar, the shadow lunged, its form shifting grotesquely, distorted by rage. The movement was surreal. It darted like an arrow, targeting Rachel. She felt the cold tentacles reach for her, brushing cruelly against her skin, gnawing at her resolve. But the light exploded, bright and blinding. It cast away the shadows like a dawn chasing away night terrors. Rachel could see their faces now, their eyes wide with fear, yet they glimmered behind the veil of darkness. "Together, hold on to each other," she shouted, clutching her children tightly. Power surged through her, binding them in a bubble of unity. She felt it radiate outwards, pushing back against the encroaching grip of despair. The dark figure recoiled, shrieking, a sound that curdled the blood. "You think you can escape?" it howled. "This is just the beginning. You can't resist forever." With determination lacing her voice, Rachel shouted, "We won't! Love is stronger than you!" In that moment, the radiant light surged, fending off the darkness. They drew strength from each other, their souls intertwined, swirling in a dance of light and warmth. But the shadow writhed and twisted one last time, creating a chasm between them. It loomed, shifting like thunderclouds ready to storm. And suddenly, a horrifying realization dawned. What if this light had a price? She could already sense it tugging at her, wanting to escape, to exist without her. "Mommy, don't let it take you," Timmy screamed, his small frame trembling. Panic clawed back at Rachel. She felt the love, a fire, but was it enough? Could they withstand the creature's dark magic? With a heart-pounding resolve, she let the bond with her children fuel her will. "Let's show it who we are," she cried, a battle cry echoing against the darkness. But just as they prepared to charge forward, the darkness surged violently, a storm of rage and revenge. A shadow more sinister than the rest unfurled from the figure's depths, its eyes glowing with malevolence. In that moment, Rachel realized with a jolt, it was feeding off them, and worse still, there were more shadows lurking beyond. "Mommy, what do we do?" Emma's voice trembled, and Rachel had never felt so unmoored. Was love even enough to combat the deepest fears? In that instant, the darkness shattered into a cacophony, and Rachel felt herself slipping. Would this be the end of everything she fought for, or the beginning of a nightmare beyond comprehension? They were on the edge of a precipice with no way back now. How could she protect them when shadows lay in wait, hungry for despair? What kind of confrontation awaited if they plunged deeper into the abyss? Would they emerge victorious, or would this bond tear them apart? Rachel's breath came in quick, shallow gasps, the darkness swelling around them like a wave, ready to crash down and suffocate the tiny flicker of hope. She could feel the cold tendrils serpentine, twisting around her heart, squeezing tighter with each passing second. "Timmy, Emma, hold on!" she shouted, her voice cracking as the shadows swirled, creating dissonant echoes of their cries. The children clung to her, small hands gripping her tightly, as if they could anchor her against the suffocating despair. Just then, a flash of insight sparked in Rachel's mind. "We need to remember the love, the laughter, anything that made us us," she urged, trying to drown out the malevolent whispers echoing in her head. "Mommy," Emma cried, her voice breaking and trembling. "I'm scared. I can't remember." In desperation, Rachel drew in a shaky breath and closed her eyes. She conjured their family memories, bedtime stories, twinkling holiday lights, the echoes of their laughter bringing warmth to a cool autumn evening. Each memory acted like a shield, fortifying her against the dark. But the shadows responded, letting out a shriek of rage that reverberated through the air, frigid and chilling. "Your memories are worthless. They fade, just like your precious light will." It clawed at their faith, probing at the cracks as if searching for a way inside. "Mommy," Emma cried, her voice breaking and trembling. "I'm scared. I can't remember." In desperation, Rachel drew in a shaky breath and closed her eyes. She conjured their family memories, bedtime stories, twinkling holiday lights, the echoes of their laughter bringing warmth to a cool autumn evening. Each memory acted like a shield, fortifying her against the dark. But the shadows responded, letting out a shriek of rage that reverberated through the air, frigid and chilling. "Your memories are worthless. They fade, just like your precious light will." It clawed at their faith, probing at the cracks as if searching for a way inside. Rachel felt her heart race. What if they really were futile? What if darkness consumed her children again like it once had? "Stay with me," Rachel shouted, squeezing their hands, but inside, Fear coiled tighter. Think of all the moments where we were happy together. Focus on those. The darkness rippled, almost gloating, swaying like a predator assessing its prey. Love, it mocked, it'll betray you. Love can let go. Love can be lost. Then, with a lurch of uncertainty, Rachel felt an unseen force gripping her mind, twisting her recollections into nightmares, morphing laughter into howls of despair. The memories scattered, fading like whispers in the wind. "Mommy, don't let it take us," Timmy pleaded, his voice small, frightened. "Hold on," she screamed, warmth fading as dread poured in. Rachel felt the flickering light dim, but she couldn't succumb. "We are stronger together. We fight." Shadows surged, swirling around her like a tempest, clawing and gnashing at the edges of their bond. Behind her closed eyes, Rachel could see images of her children playing in the sun, faces radiant with joy. It came with a kind of clarity illuminating her insides. "Together," she urged, eyes opening to meet the fearful gaze of her children. The warmth surged within again, a whisper of defiance igniting her spirit. "Close your eyes and believe. We're not going anywhere." The shadows recoiled as if stung, but their fury intensified, swirling and churning as if caught in a whirlpool. "You can't escape this," they shrieked. "You are trapped. This is your end." But just then, the shimmering light caught her attention again, pulsating wildly like a heartbeat. She reached out, desperation fueling her resolve, and felt the children's grasp tighten, their fingers wrapping around her wrist. As they concentrated, the light began to grow, warmer, more vivid, spreading through the suffocating haze like morning sun breaking dawn. The dark figure screamed, continuing to lash out, but the light surged and coalesced, turning into a wall of brilliance between them and the darkness. "Together!" Rachel shouted as she braced herself against the resistance, pushing her strength into the untamed light. She could feel hope weaving between them, vibrant and electric, able to push back the gloom. But would their combined love truly be enough to fend off the darkness once and for all? Without warning, the shadows erupted into a frenzied whirlpool, long fingers stretching out towards them as a new wave of fear swept through. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and Rachel's heart raced. Had they only staved off an even greater threat? Suddenly, she caught a glimpse of something lurking behind the shadows, a distortion, a flicker of movements more unsettling than anything she had faced. Whatever lay beyond had its own agenda. What awaited them if they faltered? Would the darkness consume them entirely, or would the light finally triumph? The shadows roared and surged, but Rachel stood firm, her heart a beacon in the chaos. She could feel Timmy and Emma's warmth beside her, their hands intertwined with hers. Their laughter, a distant echo, swirled in her mind, igniting a fierce determination. "Stay close," she shouted, spiraling past despair, focusing all her energy on the warmth that thrummed between them. "We are light, we are love, and together we can break this darkness." In that moment, the shadows coiled tighter, hissing in furious protest. "You think you can resist?" it jeered. But Rachel felt the pull of the light intensifying around her like a comforting embrace. "Love is stronger than your fear," Rachel yelled, her voice filled with conviction. She stepped forward, channeling every joy and cherished memory. A family picnic, the first day of school, winter mornings spent building snowmen, moments interwoven with laughter that stitched together their bond. With each step, faint glimmers of light danced before her. A shimmery portal flickered, intertwining with the shadows. She could almost hear the echoes of joy, hope whispering on the edge of her consciousness, promising that escape was possible. In that pivotal heartbeat, Rachel grasped the warmth of their shared memories, trembling yet cohesive. "Timmy, Emma, hold tight," she shouted, pulling them closer until they formed a united front against the engulfing shadows. The darkness screeched, a cacophony of fury and despair. "You cannot hold on to what no longer exists," it hissed, shadows lashing out against their radiant light. Rachel felt the pressure build, but she refused to let it fracture them. "Together," she cried, urging her kids to focus on the light blossoming within. "Remember our love, our family." Suddenly, light exploded from within them, brilliant, blinding, heartbreaking. The shadows recoiled in horror, shrieking as the luminous energy engulfed the room, pushing back against their malevolence. As the walls trembled, the dark figure erupted, all claws and fury, desperate to reclaim its lost hold. But Rachel and her children stood firm, heartbeats unnoticed in the storm of shadows. "We choose love," they shouted as one,
ringing clear and true. Rachel felt her strength surge amidst the explosion of colors. Together they charged forward, a blaze of energy and defiance, piercing through the darkness with the force of their united love. "Go," she urged, feeling the vibrations of joy ripple through the air. Their light expanded, shattering the tendrils of shadows, taking with it the remnants of despair. And just like that, a snap, a crackle, a sudden stillness. The shadows fractured and imploded, dispersing into the ether like mist before the sun. As they stumbled out, breathless, the once menacing specters dissolved. Rachel felt the grip of fear release her, flooding warmth enveloping them as the shadows lost their strength, retreating to unseen realms. Dazed, she looked down to see her children staring up at her, eyes shimmering with clarity. The warmth of their joyous laughter echoed in her heart. "Mommy, you did it!" Timmy exclaimed in awe, and Emma bounced on the balls of her feet, her eyes sparkling with belief. Rachel dropped to her knees, pulling them close, feeling the weight of relief wash over her like a tidal wave. "We did it together," she whispered, wrapping them tightly in her arms. The world felt vibrant again, painted with colors of possibility. But just then, a familiar voice echoed, a kind whisper in the back of her mind. "Rachel." The elderly historian's words returned. "They'll turn you against each other." Rachel's breath caught. She had battled to save her children, but whispers of doubt still lingered at the edges of her mind, distant shadows reminding her of her vulnerabilities. As she held on to them, staring into their radiant faces, she realized the truth. It wasn't enough just to escape. They needed to heal, rebuild, learning to never let fear overshadow their love again. She pulled back slightly, looking into their eyes, both shining with innocence and renewed hope. "We'll face everything together as a family. Nothing will tear us apart again," she vowed, determination enhancing her voice. In that quiet suburban street, where shadows once loomed large, they stopped to take in their home. It felt alive again, filled with laughter and light. Maplewood would heal as they would, a reminder that love could conquer even the darkest of places. As evening bloomed into colorful skies, Rachel grabbed their hands, ready to walk together into a future unmarked by shadow, guided by love, unity, and their undeniable strength. "Let's go home," she whispered, moving forward with hope lighting their way. Together, they stepped into the soft embrace of twilight, leaving shadows behind, ready to write new chapters filled with light, laughter, and love. And now it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories coming your way. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Flood the comments with your reactions, theories, and what you thought of the ending.
And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5
friends who need to see this powerful conclusion. Your support means everything, and it's time to unite for more amazing journeys ahead.